Hi, I'm Sis Dudu. I'm a dating coach, just in case you don't know who I am. So before I start, I'd like to thank everyone who's given me feedback about my videos. It's nice to know that it's creating the awareness that it's intended to, and it gets you thinking about which areas of your life you need to improve or work on in order to improve your dating life. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I'm very intolerant about. And that is women who go around and are victims of love, are victims of life. They're just victims of everything. I have very little patience for such people, and I actually think that they deserve to be told the truth because they're just wasting your time every time you listen to their soppy stories. And these women, they always go like, oh my God, my goodness, this guy hurt me, and they usually have a pattern. All their boyfriends have hurt them. They just have messed up dating histories. It's not like this one odd guy out. It's like every single guy who comes into their lives takes advantage of them, steals their money, steals their peace, steals this and this. And I'm like, okay, fine. How do you contribute to the situation? If he has hurt you, to what degree did you allow it? When something happens to you in terms of your love life or life just in general, I always believe that 10% of the things that happen to you are things that are just beyond your control. You couldn't see it coming. There was nothing that you could have done to prevent it. And when such things happen, I always say, you must just sit back and say, what is the lesson? What can I learn from this? And deal with the situation, and then take the lesson and move forward. And then 90% of the things that happen to you is because you were a participant. So think about if there was a story, right? If there was a fairy tale, and the fairy tale was about Dudu. And you know what? In this fairy tale, the whole book, they talk about the different characters, and there's this character, this and this, and how they interact with each other. But there's no story about Dudu. The fairy tale is about Dudu, but there is no story. Like, you don't see Dudu participating in this fairy tale. And it's the same when you are always a victim. When, oh, he's hurt me, all guys hurt me, all guys play with me, play with my emotions, and they do all sorts of things. But you don't sit back and say, to what degree do I allow this? To what extent do I allow this to happen? So if you're the booty call, if you're the side chick, if you are always in an emotionally abusive relationship and you're always picking the same partners, or a physically abusive relationship, you need to take a step back and say, to what degree do I allow this? And if you want to know, I always say that if you're a woman and you are in your 30s, now I'm really, really being honest based on my observations, and I interact with a lot of girls with regards to relationships because I'm a dating coach and they feel they can talk to me. If you're a woman and you're in your 30s and you are a victim, and you know what, in your all past relationships, you don't see anything wrong with how you've contributed to that situation. If you carry on like this, the chances of you being in a healthy and successful relationship are zilch. I'm being honest, and I have seen that. If you see those women who are in their 40s or late 30s and they're still desperately yearning for love, they chase love like they're chasing, I don't know, the lottery or a falling star, it's because they've really never been in proper functioning relationships, and they still yearn for it. They still want it. They don't even understand. They wouldn't even understand it if it came their way because they've never had it, and that's because they've been going through relationships doing the same thing, and guys hurting them, and they've been victims, and because they've never changed their patterns, they get to a later age and they are still the people they were when they were 25. So how do you know what you need to change, or how do you know where your problem lies? You see, with women it's easy if it's a man, because women, we are very mean when we break up with people, or when we don't like a guy. We will give you a piece of our mind. We will tell you exactly what we think of you, whether you have a small weenie. Not to say that a small weenie is the reason why you're not in successful relationships. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not a man. But all I'm saying is that they will tell you what is wrong with you. Guys are a little bit different. Guys avoid conflict. Guys don't want your tears. They don't want your drama. So they will not come out direct and say, listen, Dudu, you're a control freak, or Dudu, you, I don't know, like you've got unrealistic standards. But they'll say it in conversations when you guys are either like arguing or they'll give you feedback in a very subtle manner. So you look at what these guys have said to you, right? And sometimes it's not about you, it's about the kind of guys you've been picking. So if all your exes have told you they don't believe in marriage, maybe you just picked the wrong guys. You know, if all your exes, after 2 years of dating, you're like, where is this going? And they're like, you've never given me the impression that you want a serious relationship. Examine your behavior. You know, examine. There's something about you that you are emitting. There's a behavior that, you know, you're bringing, you know, to all your interactions that sees you always finding yourself in the same situation when it comes to men. So, ladies, you can carry on doing what you've been doing for years and years and years. And chances are you're not going to get a guy. And you're going to go... And you're always going to wonder if this love thing is really meant for you. And you're going to give up on something that you potentially could get if you just really concentrated on you and looking at your patterns and saying, what is it that I am doing that is attracting the kind of relationships that I don't want? Or you can actually sit back and say, you know what, maybe it's time for change, right? It's time that I became extremely honest with myself. And let me tell you, like, you know, people like victims. This is what happens to victims. Your friends, it's either your friends don't tell you the truth for two reasons. One is because you're funny and you're entertaining and you make good gossip. Ladies, let's be honest, right? You know, this woman who's always a perpetual victim, or guys are always playing her, and it's obvious to everyone why, but she's the only one who doesn't get it. Sometimes it's like it's just good entertainment. Or your friends have tried so many times to show you where you're going wrong, and you've been so stubborn about it that they've just given up. They're like, go ahead, look at this fool. There's nothing that we can do. And if you really, really want honest feedback, I think start by looking at what you guys have said. Go to your friends and say, I picked up this by myself, you know. Is it true? And please be honest with me. And take it and work on it. Because this whole victim thing, you just feel good when you're having a pity party, but it takes you nowhere. I'm Sis Dudu, and I'm out.